When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be ere the set of sun. Where the place? Upon the heath, there to meet with the Floridita fleet. Welcome, Pirate Council. May our tall tales please you. When we last left our heroes, they were trudging through the swamps of Hither, sneaking into the home of one Bavlorna Blightstraw. What goals and aims the party has are a little murky, much like the waters beneath this cottage. Sorn, you find yourself in the guest room. Two creatures are having a conversation over tea in the middle of the room. The first figure is seated in a time-worn chair. She is tall, lean, a woman of grey complexion, dressed in black with a wide-brimmed hat obscuring her eyes. The other figure is a toad-like creature with bulging eyes and cracked skin. It is clad in a shapeless garment and sits on one end of a love seat with its legs pulled up beneath it. Flies flit into and out of its mouth, which hangs slightly agape when it isn't speaking. Two tiny versions of the creature cling to it like pets. The room is filthy, dirty dishes and bits of discarded food lie everywhere. The furniture was perhaps once of fine quality, but now stains of mysterious origin mottle every surface, and the upholstery has been patched numerous times. Set with its back to the wall in one corner is a hulking wooden cabinet. Sturdy legs support the bottom of the cabinet 6 inches above the floor. A decrepit wooden staircase climbs up the wall in another corner. The toad-like creature speaks to you in a low, croaking voice. What act of desperation compels you to enter my home, little darling?
Shit, you're a talking frog. Yeah, I got a little lost. I got a little turned around.
We get many lost in these swamps, please. Come, have a seat next to me. And she wiggles over a little bit like King Zora and opens up a spot for her on the love seat.
I'm gonna make my way across the room a little bit and be like, that's fine. That's fine. I'll stand. Don't mind. I don't want to encroach on your space.
The grey woman lifts up her teacup at you and kind of nods her head and turns to the frog creature with a bit of a smile playing at the edge of her lips and says, Mistress Lorna, won't you offer him some tea? Would be rude to your guest to not let him stay and refresh himself. And the toad figure sort of whips her head to look at the grey woman. Her mouth kind of falling slack a little bit, opening wide. You see a fly buzz out of her mouth. And then it kind of clenches into sort of a tight line. And she yells, Redicap! Bring our guests some tea!
I'm gonna just say to the grey woman, mighty kind of you. And who might you be?
She says, you haven't told me your name, stranger.
Well, I am Sorn. Just a humble traveler,
She holds out a hand as if for you to kiss it. And she says, they call me Charm.
Charm. Cool name.
And for everyone and here who's playing at home, she looks like this.
Someone will say, consider me charmed. And just trying to play it up a little bit.
Do you kiss her hand?
Sure, why not?
All right. It's cold, but perhaps she has poor circulation.
Sorn has
What is your passive perception?
passive perception is 14.
As you get close to kiss her hand, you realize she casts no shadow.
Well,
The frog woman looks to you and gestures to the teapot on the table. She places her cup down. She says, "It's hard to get good help these days. Red a cap." And then she pours some tea in a cup and sort of slides it sort of towards you a little bit on the little table. And she says, "You are lost, you poor thing, and you come to Lorna's cottage to find your way home. Is that what you desire, my little darling?"
I wouldn't say lost. I got a little bit turned around. All right, I'm not like I know where I am mostly. Like we're in downfall, are we not?
Yes, this is
See,
my
you're lost.
realm.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to ask. Yeah, look, I'll mosey on her, take a couple of steps over, and pick up the tea, and just gesture with it to say thank you. And I will. I will put a candle on the table. Because Sorn knows the rules of this place, but doesn't quite understand them.
Yeah. She says, "You have indeed found yourself in downfall, deep within hither. Those who seek me out always want something. Young Sorn, what is it that you seek?"
Well, I mean, I'm looking for someone. May have been a bit of a problem for you as well, just by the nature of this being. And this isn't me stalling while I look through my notes to find the name. I'm looking for someone who goes by the name of Novicrux.
Give me an insight check.
Well, that is an 8.
It's incredibly hard to read this slack-jawed appearance of this woman. She turns her head slightly and says, "I help many lost souls find those they have misplaced. I am open to bargaining, but not yet. What is it you seek to do for me before I begin the bargain?"
I'm not here for a bargain. Like, I usually only enter in bargains with people that I am well acquainted with over many sessions of tea.
"Pray, join us then. Have a cookie." And there's a little plate of cookies on the table.
What are how do the cookies look? Do they look like they're fresh, or do they look like they've been there for like?
They look fresh, but upon closer inspection, you realize these aren't chocolate chip. They're not even, God forbid, raisin cookies. The little black dots you see embedded within the cookie dough are indeed flies.
Well, I would say, well, thank you. I do appreciate the offer, but gotta watch my figure. Gotta stay in shape, being an adventurer, you know.
Don't let them body shame you, dear lost soul. Fatten yourself up.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. And I will offer some Fey wine. So how about we get this party started?
Very well. We cut back to the kitchen where Yama and Pauly are exiting some sort of cool room that is starting to still cold, still holding its chill, but is certainly not as ice cold as it was before as they leave. Entering into the kitchen area, a number of vultures hanging out on the ceiling beams above, looking down at you all curiously, wondering why you've taken the meat away from them. Though there's still some remains of the poor creature's head that you fed to them.
Yeah, I believe we were dragging a dead body into the freezer, so I think Yama is just going to like surreptitiously close that door.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're hiding the evidence, and
Yeah, we put it in the trunk, and then we took what was inside of the trunk.
which was a heart, right?
Yeah, a beating heart.
A beating heart. Yep. So we have a beating heart now in our pockets. Do we hear her yelling for Redder Cat? Because I assumed Cait, is that the guy that's now in the freezer?
Yeah. Well, you can certainly hear that, and you can certainly make that assumption.
All right. Well, Captain, do we proceed towards the voice?
I mean, we don't know where Sorn is, so it's probably a good idea because most likely she's
He's
yelling.
The one, yeah.
He's the reason why she's yelling, so probably a smart idea.
All right. Can I try and like listen to where the sound is coming from? Her yelling, or?
Absolutely. You think it's coming from this direction. To the north.
Up from us.
There are obviously a number of other doors out of this room. The one you came in, of course. Another door over in the eastern wing, and there is a corridor heading out west, and of course a door directly in front of you.
Yeah, what do you think, Captain? Head towards where we heard movement? People?
I mean, look, we can wait for her to yell again, or we can wait until we hear Sorn getting murdered. So I'd probably suggest we just go straight for it.
Yeah. we do think there's a hag in here.
The three of you enter, Pauly, Yama, and Lot. What scene do they see? Like, Sorn, you mentioned you'd pulled out a bottle of elvish wine. Are you sort of pouring it into dirty glasses? Are you sort of showing off the label? Like, what kind of scene do they see you in? Like, are you playing waiter to these two women? Are you already getting Are you already starting to do shots? Like, what do we see?
The guys have walked in, and Sorn is just sitting on this little love seat with old mate Bavlorna. Got his arm around her now. And like, you're great, Bav. You are great. What do you think of the wine?
She sort of takes a sip. You can see, she kind of has to hold her head back a little bit. Some of it kind of dribbles out the side of her slack jaw. And she says, this elvish wine is lovely, though a bit sweet for my tastes.
Well, I mean, I do have... So wait, did I say I was giving her the elvish wine? Because, well, I do have some more exquisite wine. If you would like to try that. From another realm. Realm of the Fae. It's a pretty nice wine.
She says, I have tried many Fae wines. What realm do you think you find yourself in, little Failing? We are closer to your source than perhaps you know.
My source? What do you mean? Not a source? Not looking for sauce. Looking for a person.
As Yama and
Being.
Pauly, you step in, the door opens, and everyone turns to look at you all. Bavlorna's head snaps around mid conversation and says, "Redicap, fine. Who are you?"
Yeah, no, I'm the new help. What's up? How are you? Yeah, Redicast had to bugger off for a little bit there, but I'm bringing in another guest. He's a prick, that Redicast, you know? Just a vulture-killing prick, if you ask me.
She says, "Another guest. Well, help, please find our new guest a seat. All these are taken."
Right away, ma'am. No problem at all. And Paulie goes back out. Actually, no, sorry. See, actually, right away, ma'am. But I should introduce our guest first. We have the Monarch King, the Butterfly. What's the title again? Sorry.
What does Pauly make up on the spot?
Okay, done. That's a very good point. You have His Excellency Yama, the Monarch King. We all like to bow in front of their presence, so and then there's a big bow. And I'll get that chair for you now.
The woman with the grey skin kind of tilts her head in slight reverence. Bavlorna, her massive toady figure, seems to attempt to bow, but is perhaps mostly just torso. There's not a lot of waist for her to bend over. And she says, well, Your Grace, I am just dealing with a lost traveler who's come to seek my help. But of course, I have time for royalty."
I think Yama makes a really grand gesture as he kind of sweeps deeper into the room, and he's like, "I apologize for interrupting your little wine afternoon tea here. I was simply passing."
"Fetch us more cups, help."
Oh, yes, right away, ma'am. No worries. I'm running out. I come in in that time that you said that I've come in with a stool with two legs, and a dining chair without a back, a rocking chair without a back. Sorry, a rocking chair without a back.
Yeah.
And Yama, while he's
I'm gonna look over at the grey lady and be like, "Get a load of this guy."
Which one do you want?
Yama's gonna I want the rocking chair without the back on it. That sounds
Done.
great.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But
flourishes it
Yama's
out.
kind of
Yeah, Lot takes the other one, looks at you quizzically, and then sort of puts it so that she can lean on the wall, because it's obviously unstable.
Yeah. It had 3 legs. I broke one off.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just see the stump of it still in there.
So awkward.
Yeah.
Can Yama do without, I don't know, maybe he's just kind of playing the fool or something, but can he kind of pace around the room and kind of glance around as he's doing so?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you sort of pace back and forth regally, sweeping into the room like any true
he's
noble.
making big arm movements and what a beautiful space you have here, and how lovely, look at this quaint furniture.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you see, as I mentioned before, the sort of cabinet on sort of clawed feet here in sort of the northwest corner of the room. You pass by what appears to be sort of another locked cabinet and a door on the east corner of the room. On the north side, you see a window letting in sort of a greyish light filtered through from all the fog outside. The cabinet you pass by is made of wood, and it's covered with bark and patches of moss. And sitting on top of it is a stuffed cat.
So as Yama takes his seat, he's just going to be like, well, my greetings, my ladies. I believe I am Yama, the Immovable Mountain, as your help has introduced. I have come to pay my respects. Mistress Slackjaw, I am told that you are the one in charge in this area, and I have come to make myself known as the
Yeah,
grand
I'm not a lady.
monarch of the Witchlight Carnival.
At that, her eyes go a little bit wider, and says, you have come from the Witchlight Carnival.
Indeed, I
Pray,
have.
how are Mr. Witch and Mr. Light?
They are much improved after a little debacle with the loss of their wristwatch. They are now well on their way and probably moving through as we speak to a new location. Are you quite familiar with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light? And he's still putting on this like grand, weird voice.
Yeah. She says, yes, I have had many dealings with them, ongoing business relationships. Where are my manners? This is Charm. She is also visiting from outside hither. And the grey lady holds out her hand for you to kiss it and says, "Charmed, I'm sure."
It is wonderful to meet you. And Yama takes a knee in front of her, carefully takes her hand, and then gives it a big wet kiss.
Please join us, won't you, for some tea?
Tea. I love tea. Might you be interested in trying my own homebrew?
It would be most welcome. The help is so hard to get well these days.
When as you're saying that, in the time that happens, you just hear like a clatter and a bang and like a glass shattering. Oh, I'll be back with the next set in a second.
What is Pauly doing while he's out there? Is this like?
I'm so curious.
I am casing the fucking joint.
Yeah. Yeah. So what in particular? You're going through all the cupboards.
Yeah, I'm looking for anything valuable.
Mostly a lot of crockery, cutlery. Like you find, a lot of stuff is all chipped, cracked. There is a wash basin, but it's full of like dirty water that hasn't been exchanged, or if it has, they've just drawn water out of the swamp.
Right.
This place is certainly not well maintained. However, what you do find, you find a locked door right here. And I assume he's the kind of guy that runs around quickly and checks all doors.
Absolutely correct.
When you try that door quickly, you find out it's locked. When you rattle this door, it opens, and inside is a your nostrils instantly tell you, with your history, you instantly know that this is a distillery.
Amazing.
You see a contraption made of entangled copper tubes connected to a pot-bellied boiler and a dozen cylindrical containers, which in turn sprout even more tubes that feed into buckets. Barrels are clustered in the southeast corner, and a work table in one corner of the room has bits of copper and metalworking tools strewn about it. Light filters in through the green diamond-shaped glass panes of glass set on the window, and there is a single door leading out as well. What do you do anything while you're in here?
Is there bottles of stuff in here?
There are barrels.
Right.
You can definitely get the unmistakable smell of a mushroom-based alcohol.
It's swamp gin.
Yeah, sorry, there are 6 buckets collecting the alcohol as it's, distilling out. and you eyeball it with your keen thief's eyes, you think each bucket is probably weighs about 200 pounds.
Right. Shit. Okay.
Full of liquid. So like big,
literally weighs more than me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You notice as well that the distillery is barely held together correctly. Like it's people have sort of jammed pipes. Someone's jammed pipes in at all kinds of angles.
Yeah, I've been to several. I went on the Aurora distilling tour. I know what a proper distillery looks like.
Yes, yeah. This is not that. This is definitely a backyard job, and someone who's maybe heard of a distillery before instead of actually seeing one. Someone who definitely doesn't know about copper tubes, temperatures, etc. Whilst it is. The alcohol smell is certainly spot on for a firm distilled liquor. You think this is an OH&S problem waiting to happen.
Right. Yep. Okay. Do
you check the other doors, or do you stick around?
Is there a fire?
Underneath
the boy, like underneath.
Yeah, there must be. Yeah.
There's a fuel source. I am going to tip one of the mushroom buckets over.
Okay. Yeah, this sort of stinking homemade hooch starts with a sort of a clang starts spreading out along the floor. There is, we'll say, like sort of a tinder box or something underneath the boiler, so it doesn't immediately just fly into the fire and blow you up. But
I'm not planning to set the room on fire. Like my idea with like tipping the bucket over, probably away from it, is to cover the room in a very potent and flammable liquid. Yep. I am going to try and push 2 barrels. I'm going to open this door here, if that's okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to push a barrel through it with a cork with the bung hole taken out.
Yep.
So like it leaves like a trail of like alcohol as it goes out.
Give me an athletics check just to see how effectively you drag this thing around and how long it's taking you effectively. You do it, but it just maybe takes some time.
Oh, for some reason my thing is taking a very long time to roll. 19.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so you're able to kind of drag this thing, half roll it, on its edge kind of thing, and lead sort of a trail of this backyard hooch into what appears to be a kind of dining room. This room has 2 exits. Above each door, mounted on a wooden plaque, you see a severed goblin head with its mouth agape. Other furnishings include a sideboard, 2 cupboards with doors made of wood framed glass, and a large banquet table covered with plates of half-eaten food and a swarm of feasting flies. Your eyes light up as you see a chandelier hanging above the table. Its tallow candles filling the room with dim, flickering light. 6 mismatched chairs flank the table, 3 chairs per side.
Perfect. Okay. And you're right, as every swashbuckler gets excited about a chandelier. I'm going to leave this room alone. Just kick the barrel in and let the booze go through there.
Yep.
I am then going to move another barrel, and then I'm going to ride it down the hallway with the bunghole taken out again.
Yep.
And lead a trail into the kitchen.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect. Yep. Thank you.
Very good.
And then I'm gonna do a flip off it, and then let it smash into the
You might need to not go through the walls. Yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. And then let it smash into the wall, like the wall over there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you leave a trail of hooch. The room stinking of it. The vultures flapping their wings and turning their heads as they get just nostril fills of the foul odor. You see as you bump it into the far wall, there is a door in this wall as well, seemingly leading outside.
Right. I'm just gonna. Here we go. Big mess. Perfect. Yeah. And then I'm going to go back in with the most weirdest cups I could possibly find in that time as well.
In fact, you try to find weird cups, but like you only find weird cups. And they all look different. You know, there's the quintessential blue china pattern with the massive gouge all the way to the bottom, so no tea can sit in it. Or like the V crack that goes all the way to the base of the cup. You find one that has some sort of weird stenciled lettering on it that says "Number 3 Sister," and yeah, you're able to kind of bring them out into the main room.
Great. I will serve them all tea.
Yeah. Bavlorna, her big froggy eyes, just don't even look at you, Pauly, as most help, goes ignored. As she's, sort of looking Yama up and down and says, "Well, Your Majesty, I appreciate the introduction and the etiquette of making yourself known to me while you're in my realm. But of course, everyone needs something, and you don't come to my realm without desires. Perhaps let Mistress Slackjaw fulfill those desires."
Well, indeed, you are correct, Mistress Slackjaw. I come to you with the desire to help people. I have come by way of Master Longscarf, Agnon Longscarf, who I believe you are acquainted.
Yes, a colorful employee who makes sure that rules are being adhered to in hither.
Rules? What rules might they be?
Well, you may be new to this world, but one of the rules we enforce here is the rule of ownership. Longscarf makes sure that those things are brought back to me that are mine.
How does he know what are yours?
She smiles with one half of her face, the other face kind of still slack. She says, "Oh, in my world, everything is mine."
Ah, but indeed, I have heard that you have 2 sisters. Is this not true?
Sorn and Yama, give me insight checks. Paul, if you're in the room, you can give me one too. Are you standing attentive at the door, or are you back in the kitchen now? Sorry, Pauly.
What's that, sorry?
Are you standing attentive inside the room, or have you gone back to the kitchen?
Back to the kitchen.
Okay, yeah. So just the 2 in the room then. Can you give me insight checks?
Guidancing myself for this one.
Mm-hmm.
We just both roll 13s. Cool.
18.
You both notice Charm sort of smile, but attempt to kind of hide it behind a sip of the tea. And Slackjaw says, "No, hither is my realm. My sisters have their own. Thither and yon are where they are as good as gods. This one is mine, and you would do well to remember it."
Oh, my mistress, I apologize so humbly, and he kind of falls to the floor a little bit on his knees, very overdramatic.
Yeah.
I apologize. I have absolutely misspoken. I have misheard. You see, by we, I mean my apologies. I have not introduced you to my personal aide and healer, This is Lot. Is it Lot? I don't know her name.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's Lot.
cool.
suddenly put on the spot. Lot kind of looks at you and is like, unsteady. Not only because she's sitting on a shitty stool with only 2 legs, but is sort of like, oh yes, greetings, mistress, and yeah, most salutations. Just kind of like looking at you, like.
Yama, sensing her hesitation, he quickly rushes the cutter off, and he's like, "Yes, anyway," and like holds up a hand in front of her, like to stop talking.
Yeah.
On our way here, we bumped into a member of the Sealy Court. It seems things are possibly unwell over there, and perhaps your firm rule on this downfall is hither is indeed the reason for that. I am quite impressed by your tight rule, and had assumed that this was the reason of 3 people, not yourself singular.
Yes, we do have visitors from other realms, such as yourself. I am amazed at how they manage to keep going with the amount of chaos that is inherent in their systems. Of course, a firm rule, but a fair one, keeps us going in hither, thither, and yon.
Are the rules the same then in thither and yon?
The rules are the same, though of course my sisters do interpret them in their own way. So you would be wise to step lightly if you were to travel there. Speaking of which, are you considering making yourself known to my sisters? I'm flattered that you came to visit me first.
Well, absolutely. As I mentioned, I am quite aware of your firm grip on hither, and thought I must meet you. I would.
She
I
turns
am.
to Charm. It's still like
Mm.
that slack jaw, like eyes bulging, and he says, "Charm." He speaks of my firm grip, and Charm just like sort of giggles to herself.
And I want to know who Charm is, but I'm also just don't want to be like, and who are you? What do you do? Can I maybe like roll like is there like a diplomacy check or something to maybe bring Charm more into the conversation? I just like I want to know more.
Yeah. So, what do you ask her?
And Charm, are you also a local to hither, or are you also on a journey, much as I?
She says, "Oh, I spend my time all over Prismere. I try not to stay in one place for too long, but of course, when I was in the neighborhood, as it were, I couldn't help but come visit Mistress Slackjaw here and trade gossip. But I will be leaving soon. I have a storm balloon stationed nearby, and I must be off, but it's, of course, I can stay if we're visited by royalty. The other sisters, of course, will want to know."
Oh, how wonderful. I do wish you'd stay. I did pass the storm balloon outside and had wondered at its use, or whether it was a permanent fixture. How lovely. Cait doesn't know what we're doing here and what the plan is. Like, Yama has no motivations in speaking
Beyond tea
to
and crumpets.
beyond tea and cake. So
All right, well,
he's just kind of He's
So
just
we-
kind of
the-
fishing for information.
Yeah,
to
Sorn, if you want to
persuade
jump in here, or I can.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can go back to Pauly in the kitchens if you like.
Sorn will jump in and be like, "So, yeah, charmed. Like you've charmed me. Well, what do you do, weary traveler? I know you travel. You come from place to place. That storm balloon out there is, as this fine monarch has said, it's quite the interesting craft you have out there. I
Oh, you like
would
it?
very much like to see it up close, if possible."
Well, perhaps we can. My associates are out there at the moment. We are merchants. We travel hither, thither, and yon to find the best deals. And, of course, trade information, trade all sorts of things, a currency here in Brismere. Perhaps I can offer to let you see it a little bit up close.
I'm very much would definitely be inclined to take you up on that offer. It is quite interesting, and anything that flies is quite interesting.
Oh, it's
to
the
me.
only way to get around Prismere these days. If you're not flying, you're not traveling.
I have heard that. I did. Well, I walked here. It was no. Ooh. Tell you what, flying would be a much better way to get around. Walking is kind of, yeah. Well, your domain is quite lovely, Lorny. Yeah, but yeah, a bit sticky in the mud, you know.
Well, if Mistress Slackjaw here has nothing to offer you, traveller, perhaps we could work out an arrangement if you need a lift.
Well, that's definitely. No, that's a quite mighty generous offer of you. I'm sure we could work something out. Yeah, I'm just trying to find trying to track down a few things. Just it's one of those,
Aren't we
kind
all?
of days. Yeah.
Perhaps we could help you find it for the right price. We have all sorts of trinkets, baubles, memories, dreams.
Well, dreams. Ooh. Now you've piqued my interest. Well, if hey Lorny, if it's all the same to you, do you mind if Charm and I go for a little walk and have a chat?
Slackjaw sort of snaps at Charm. You come into my house and make deals under my throat. How dare you?
Sorn will jump up and be like, "Whoa! We're not making any deals. We're not making any deals. I'm just trying to make friends with your friends. I respect you that much. If they're a friend of yours, I will endeavor to make them a friend of mine. I'm not making any deals. And the only person here to make deals with is you, your excellency. We're just gonna go for a chat. I want to look at the balloon, and I'll come back. I do have there's enough of Sorn to go around. All right.
She says, "Oh, yes, Lorny. What could it hurt? We'll go take a look." And she gets up and leads you into kind of like an anteroom, and leads you out of the main room.
Oh, I'm gonna. I'll leave a bottle of my fine elven wine and be like, Lorny, I'll be back in just a second. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. And go into the other room.
Cool. She leads you through a you can see sort of slivers of light enters through cracks in the shutters that cover 3 tall windows. The light reveals the shapes of several pedestals. On each one rests an object with a patchwork cloth draped over it. Wilting ferns in crumbling clay pots give the room a bit of an earthy smell, and the floor is covered in a layer of straw. Each of the things that the patchwork cloth is draped over certainly have the shape of bird cages. As she leads you across the room and out onto a balcony just outside.
Alright, I'm gonna just make a mental note, and before I close the door, Yama will just hear in their mind, I'll be back.
And Yama makes a what the fuck face at Sorn as he leaves.
So from here, rising out of the fog that kind of surrounds this place, you're quite high up, so you can see that there, as she kind of takes your hand and kind of points to an area across the swamp. There is a black balloon floating above the lake. You can see it sort of tugging at some kind of, it's sort of connected by ropes. You can't necessarily see, you can kind of just make out the top of a basket made of wicker and wood. But as you look closer, Sorn, with your eyes and your senses, you see that it's not a balloon. It is a roiling black storm cloud.
Oh.
Let me show you a picture, actually.
Amazing.
I
did a big old circle by accident too, Dan.
That's fine.
I saw that.
I didn't mean to.
I can't see it anymore. Oh
Ooh,
wow.
that's cool.
That's amazing.
Okay. Well,
What?
upon noticing this, Sorn is gonna go, well, whew. Okay, that is not what I expected. From down below, it just looks like a regular, like, hot air balloon, but a storm balloon, that is...
So
Now
you
that
now
is the
realize, as you're saying that the balloon you saw was not this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. Now, that is the way to travel. How much do you know of the pantheon of... I didn't want to say it in front of Lorne. I didn't want to upset her. But, like, how much do you know of the pantheon?
Which pantheon?
Of Faerun.
Oh, you're from Faerun.
Well, yes and no.
Honestly, not much. I mostly spend my time among the Seelie and the Unseelie.
Well, there's a god among the Faerunian pantheon known as Telos, the storm god.
Oh.
Yes, and I share some of his blood, so I can appreciate the storm balloon that you have. Did you create this? Where did you come across this?
It was an acquisition. I would love to show it to... I would love to let you see it a little bit closer, but perhaps in exchange, Hugh could be mine.
I am currently quite disposed at the moment. I've got quite.
Oh
a few
no,
things that
Hugh! Your eye color is fascinating. I was thinking maybe we could take the hue from your eyes.
Which eye?
Do you currently have like one eye white, one eye black?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the black really goes with my aesthetic. The stormy eye, of course, goes with the cloud itself. It'd be a great addition. Which one would you be willing to give up?
So you take the hue from my eye for a chance to look upon the balloon.
Oh, you'd still be able to see.
Of course, of course.
I just like the color.
How about I can do you one better. Instead of the hue from, I quite like my eyes. They as I'm sure you can tell, they're quite fetching. As you understand, you are asking for the hue of one of them. Yes,
of course.
But I could give you a drop of my storm blood.
What would I do with a drop of Stormblood?
Stormblood could recreate the hue of my eye. That is what gives me this eye.
Hmm. Interesting. Perhaps you seem lithe, you seem rather dexterous. I could do with the rhythm in your step. If you're willing to give up your talent for dancing, I could consider it.
Well, I'm not very much that fond of dancing, so as long as I don't. And Sorn flips out a book quickly and goes through his schedule. Oh, yep, that's fine. I don't seem to have any dances coming up anytime soon.
She kind of reaches into her robes and pulls out an articulated wooden marionette and then says, "Are you sure?"
Can I insight this?
Yeah.
Just sort of. Is she on the level, or am I about to get completely screwed? 16.
From what she said and what seems like her intention and what you know of, say, like Faye, often deals aren't always made with, money, goods, services. A memory, a secret, the color from your eyes, a year, the ability to dance are all things that can be traded.
Yes. All right. So she just purely is okay. Yeah. How would you like me to?
She puts hangs the marionette so that it looks like it's kind of standing on the railing of the balcony you're standing on. And she makes it, at first it's standing there kind of like you. Are we like hands in pockets? Or are we like arms crossed? What is Sorn's natural kind of stance?
He's standing like sort of arms crossed, leaning up against the door frame, just admiring the storm cloud and then looking back and making eye contact. Very relaxed.
Yeah, so she kind of pulls it into that kind of pose with the like the marionette kind of things. And then starts sort of moving its feet as if it's kind of dancing along the balcony of dancing along the railing of the balcony. And you feel yourself pulled a little bit to kind of do a slight shuffle as it kind of dances, and she just utters 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can kind of feel yourself sort of swaying back and forth with the rhythm until the marionette is kind of dancing, and you kind of stumble a bit as you lose your footing, and you find you can't keep to the beat anymore.
Okay. Well.
And she says, "Of course, we shall go take a closer look whenever you wish."
Okay. Well, I think we should probably go back inside. Yeah, we should probably go back into Lorne. And then, once we've wrapped up the conversation with Lorne, before you are ready to depart, I'll come and have a look, if that works for you.
Absolutely. I'll follow you in a moment.
Actually, on second thought, let's go now. I'm very eager.
To the balloon?
Yes, absolutely.
She looks around. You see her, she actually looks up. Give me a perception check.
Perception. I'm gonna guidance myself for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't need to. It's a 22.
Yeah. You see something through the mist, almost like dive past you through the mist, and there's sort of a small bloop in the water below. And she says, "We can go now." And she leads you back inside.
Okay. I follow.
All right.
What deal have you made?
So curious.
She re-enters and says, Mr. Slackjaw, it has been an absolute pleasure, though I must get going. The winds wait for no woman. Your Highness, a pleasure. If you find yourself in thither or yon, please keep an eye out for me. Certain that we can come visit my stall. We have many trinkets and baubles that I'm sure your kingdom would love for you to return with.
A pleasure to meet you as well, Charm, and I will absolutely look upon you in my travels. I love trinkets and baubles.
And she sweeps out past you. Actually, no, she'd sweep out this way. Sweeps out and into the staircase and starts making her way down.
Sorn will make his way across and be like, Lonnie, love what you're doing. I'll be right back.
All right.
And like you see Sorn's like stepping a little bit off. Like his gait is a little bit off at the moment.
His natural elven grace is certainly no longer present.
Amazing. Do you like lose like 1 in dexterity? Is that what's happening right now?
Nope.
No, I just can't dance.
Just can't dance. Just has no rhythm
Dance.
whatsoever.
I mean, he didn't have
the
rhythm
most-
before, so it wasn't a big loss.
Exactly. On Dylan, at a meta level, joke's on her. Sorn didn't know how to dance.
That's fine. You've traded it away. Definitely don't now. You can't even remember. You know,
The next thing we do is going to be a big ball, and it's going to be like a dance competition that Sorn has to win,
It's Dance
and
Revolution.
then the whole group dies.
Yeah.
Well, you're
because
welcome,
Swan
guys.
can't dance.
You're
All
welcome.
performance-related checks now 0.
Oh, damn it.
No. Not exactly that, but it'll just be. We'll keep in mind that Sorn no longer has his dancing capabilities, in case it is ever relevant. He's like Chainsaw Man, just trading away every piece of himself.
That works for Sorn. If he gets a chainsaw in his head, he is down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Yama would totally take that other guy, the sword guy with the fucking katana coming out his head.
And then we'd have to kill each other.
We never said we had to be enemies.
Who wants to go next, Yama or Pauly?
Go for it. Are you sneaking around still?
Yeah. Have I checked all the doors other than the locked one?
No, there's still that one on the eastern side.
All right. I'll check if that's locked first.
All right, you rattle the knob. It turns, and it opens into a balcony that has
Who's this?
3 iron cages hanging from wooden beams that extend out from this balcony over the lake below. Trapped inside one of the cages is a satyr, smiling at you, completely naked, though that's not too bad because he's got fur from his waist down. And he says, "Oh, hello there.
Oh, g'day, mate. What are you doing up here?
Brigands, hair brigands stole my clothes while I was bathing. I chased them and ended up trapped in a net and was brought here. It's a little bit embarrassing. I'm all in my altogether's."
Look, I mean, like it happens to the best of us. I mean, you know, I've been chased out of whorehouses before myself, and it's okay to say that you were just bathing. I understand. But I mean, like, look, I'm casing this joint. Doesn't seem like you're too happy to be here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not looking forward to anything that comes next, but everything usually seems to work out.
And I reckon it has, mate.
If I, get out of here, I'm sure I'll have a great story to tell.
You know what? You definitely will, because I reckon you with your fancy legs, you should meet our friend, Diana Cloppington. Is there a way that I can cut him down so he just falls into the water?
Well, yeah, it's a cage hanging from a wooden beam, I guess. So you could try and break the chain that's holding it.
I mean, but then would he drown?
Yes.
All right, I will. Is there a lock for this cage?
Yeah. There's a basic lock that.
Can I try and pick the said lock?
Yeah, I think you definitely can. If you want to give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh shit, 12.
So it takes a little while. You go in with a flourish, looking very confident, and you do get it. It just maybe takes a little bit longer than you were expecting.
Yep. All right. And once it is unlocked, if it is unlocked, I'm like, all right. So you're going to see when you go downstairs that there is a used to be centaur lady. You go hang out with her for a bit, then you and I are going to have a chat, and I'm going to cut the cage so it just drops down into the bog.
Okay, so you open the cage. You don't let him like get out onto the balcony.
No.
I was worried for a second there.
Yeah. He says, "Centaur lady, but I'm naked."
You hear it.
So is she.
Actually, yeah, so is she. That's a good point.
Yeah. So you hear a splash, and you hear a bit of splashing around, and he is now swimming towards the.
Right. I'll yell down. Oh, we'll see you in a bit.
Cool.
Perfect. And then I'll go to that other door that's locked.
All right.
I will try and unlock that if that's okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
I check for traps, anything like that.
Nah,
you know what? No, bugger it. He wouldn't do that. He's in a rush. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
Sleight of hand again.
Yep.
Oh no, natty 1.
Ooh, yeah. You break one of your picks. I'm sure you've got others, but there's like a clink and
shit.
Fuck. Yeah.
Can I try again, or
Yeah.
am I running out of time? Yeah, I'll try again. Better. 15.
Yeah, so you definitely get it this time. You pull the remains of your old pick out, and crack open this room. Let me find it. So this room contains dozens of pickling jars on wooden racks. Most of the jars seem to be filled with pig snouts, toads, small birds, onions, mushrooms, and other cooking ingredients. One of them seems to contain. You sort of eye around the room. One of them seems to contain a small plant, like in a jar, that as you walk in, it kind of and look around case the room. You notice it's a bulb for a head, kind of watching you go.
I'm gonna wave at it.
It kind of waves its little body back. But it's sort of in this sealed glass jar looking at you from inside.
Oh, he's getting taken. How big is it?
Tiny. Yeah.
Tiny? All right, he's going in a pocket.
Yeah. Still in the jar, or do you take
in the jar? In the jar.
Okay.
This is the casing thing. This isn't a I trust this thing right now. I will check for dangers later.
Yeah. In fact, actually, so I misspoke. He's not a regular kind of plant with a bulb. He looks like this.
Oh my god! Absolutely, he is coming with me. Hey, buddy.
He looks so happy.
He kind of smiles up at you, waving around, vibrating manically.
Right, I'm going to put you in here for a bit, and then we're going to talk later.
Yeah. He kind of sways back and forth.
Perfect. Hell yes. All right, done.
Cool.
Yeah. That's probably. And then, is there anything else of note or weirdness in here?
Nothing in particular.
Then I'm going back out.
Just like foodstuffs and like snouts, trotters, etc.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to pour a little bit of trail of my hat whiskey from down here all the way to the door here.
Yeah.
Just an escape plan if we needed, and I need to set the whole building on fire and blow it up.
Sure. So you re-enter the main room.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
To find Yama, Lot, and Mistress Slackjaw. Yama, where have you turned? Yeah, where have you turned the conversation?
So Yama has just like leant in to say, now, Mistress Bavlorna, you mentioned earlier you would offer me a boon, and I have, well, not a boon, a trade, something that I desire, and I have thought of something.
Oh, please do tell me.
It is an artifact that I have heard tell of, and he's like watching her so carefully. It is called Igwill's Cauldron. Have you heard of such an item?
Give me an insight check, and I'll give you advantage on this because you are watching her very closely. Pauly, you can make one regularly if you like, because you've just walked in to hear this.
An insight check?
Yeah.
Damn. 15.
I'm not very insightful.
No, the slack jaw on her face, Pauly, you are still too concerned about the smell of hooch that has, been stopped by the door, but is obviously still just soaked throughout your clothes. You smell like you've spent time in a distillery for sure. Yama, though, let's see how well.
How well she plays it cool.
Not at all.
Oh.
Her jaw goes even further slack, and then kind of snaps shut, and says, "Cauldron. We have cauldron. I have a cauldron here. Don't I?" And then it kind of falls apart, and she says, "How do you know of Igliv's cauldron?"
Now, does it matter how I know?
Natty one.
But that I do indeed know and would love to know more. Is it here, or do your sisters control the cauldron?
She says, "I see. Your grace seeks knowledge. I am willing to part with it."
And what would be the price for this knowledge?
There are some simple chores that need doing. Complete these, and of course I will tell you. I will answer your questions of what I know of the cauldron.
Well, surely it is only one quest that needs doing, as you have already drank from my tea, grown by my hand and carried upon my person.
On a RP note, I assume when Pauly brought in the broken cups or the crazy cups, like, you were offered tea. I probably just didn't mention it.
Okay. But Yama did mention that he was brewing tea as well.
Yeah. So you've given her tea. There's been a bit of a tea exchange, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But she does say, of course, and I am always a gracious host. But perhaps you will have more than one question about the cauldron.
I guess you are indeed correct. Do you propose a single quest, a single question, is what you imply?
I find all good things come in threes. Perhaps if you were to do these 3 chores, then I would answer your questions. Though I don't think you'll have more than 3.
Well, Mr. Slackjaw, I thirst for knowledge. You have offered to provide it. Let me hear your quest.
The first chore is my pool downstairs won't fill with water. It seems the well that supplies it is plugged up. If you could fix that problem, I would consider that chore complete. Chore the second. My big book of bad blood has gone missing. It contains notes on everyone who has wronged me. I doubt it has been taken far. Perhaps you were to search Downfall for it, find who's taken it, and return it to me, and I would consider that chore complete.
Mm-hmm. And the final chore?
I am a bit of a dabbler in taxidermy. There is a bullywug hunter who has brought in fresh carcasses for me to stuff. Perhaps if you could go down there like a sweet and bring it back for me.
As in downstairs, mistress.
In the town of Downfall.
Understood. These chores are all quite local. Perhaps I could have them done lickety-split.
I'm sure a strapping monarch such as yourself would not find these things difficult to obtain.
Yes, indeed. Well, I am eager to get started as I am eager to have my questions answered. It has been a delight to meet you, and I am staggered by your dominance and power.
Oh my.
I will see you again.
Oh, do hurry back. Once my pool is filled again, I can rejuvenate this dry skin of mine, and then I'll be all moist and supple for your return. Yama's
Yes.
already red face.
Yeah, he blushes deeply and I most humbly await the day, and he bows deeply and without touching her, I guess, backs out of the room.
Yep.
And I want to like just kind of clock where Sorn and Pauly are as I just leave, and Lot trails behind me.
So Sorn went out the sort of south west door.
So maybe I'll take the same exit then.
Cool.
Boop boop boop.
Pauly, what are you doing?
He's probably standing in the room, just chilling out, and then just goes like, and ma'am, assuming after such ravishing company, you want to be left alone for a while.
She says, yes, and do not disturb me. I have things to take care of.
All right. I will exit the same way that Yama did. Are we going to go actually the same way? Did you go this way as well?
They went out the other exit.
Other way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of leads down to the
All right. I might try get Yama at the door.
Oh yeah.
So if you remember this room that you sort of make your way through, I'll get to Sorn and Charm. They've probably
before the
down a little bit
before the stairs go down. Just quickly pull Yama aside.
So if you remember, these halls of this hallway are covered with scores of portraits depicting grumpy, sad, frightened, and angry people. The figures include humans, elves, halflings, bullywugs, and goblins, among others. The portraits are rendered in a variety of mediums, including paintings, etchings, and sketches, and they're all displayed in gaudy, gilded frames.
And the one that's there of an Aarakocra is slightly charred.
That's right. And there is a framed oval mirror 2 feet wide and 5 feet tall hanging in the middle of one wall. As you clock that, just as you go through. But, yeah, sorry, please continue, Pauly. You pull Yama aside as I go grab a drink.
So, I may have set up something.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you know, when you steal from people, sometimes it's best to remove any level of evidence.
What did you do?
I haven't done it yet.
But I have her on the string. We need information, and she's offered the information.
But does she need her house?
Well, part of the getting the information required fixing a part of the house.
And
So
how does the fixing happen?
She said something about a pipe and a water pump.
She wanted you to fix a pipe. She
She
said a lot of. She wanted some pipe.
She wanted a big firm
Said pipe and moist in 2
And,
separate sentences.
Yeah. And it's all Yama can hear, and his face is getting redder and redder.
So, I mean, she doesn't need her house.
But we need her, and she did not look fast moving.
So, if I was to blow her house up,
Should we really be discussing this in her house?
we're whispering.
Yeah, but
This is me whispering. I'm whispering right now.
Yeah, well, I believe the plan was to free Desire, according to Sorn,
How we do that is
to get the information from her about Igwil's cauldron, and then we get to the cauldron and we destroy it.
Alright, let's just hope she
And-
doesn't leave her room then, because we've left a mangled corpse. I
Yep.
stole this guy, I brought the mushroom.
There's
And
so
I
many
may have
questions.
I may have knocked over her hooch and then also let out her Seder friend, who's imprisoned.
Oh, you really had too much time alone, didn't you?
Pauly's been busy. Pauly has just
well,
inadvertently started 6 new quest lines.
Yeah. Well, she did seem to not notice you, so perhaps she would not recognize or connect you and the changes. in
Alright, so
her
you go,
Uh-huh.
and I'll meet up with you in about 5-10 minutes.
What are you planning on doing?
You'll find out.
Will there be a loud bang?
Yes.
All right, well, just let me leave first, and maybe give me enough time to wave to her from outside the window, so she knows it wasn't me.
Deal.
Okay, Yama's gonna scurry down the stairs.
All right.
Pauly goes into here.
Interesting that teleporter works for some people but not others.
Just-
Strange. Let me grab you all and
Wow.
I'll move. I'll move you
I-
all. to
I'm
here.
just saying, I'm leaving. I'm not going to check the pump.
Yeah.
I'm
So she
gonna
asked you
go
to
do
like
that later.
fix the pipe in this room that you're walking through now.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm leaving because I know Pauly's about to make something explode.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, you're able to find your way out, sort of the same way you got in through the hatch in the floor.
Because Cait can't find the way out. So.
Yeah. There's no hatch here on this map.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sorn, you led down the same way ahead of all these guys, so you're probably well ahead of them at this point. And you pass by a Diana Cloppington in your coat who kind of looks at you. Her eyes kind of brighten up as she sees you, and then kind of sees the grey-skinned woman behind you, and then she kind of not shuts down, but like stops from yelling out. Like, oh, oh, that's my friend, and they're walking with their boss. Like, I'm not going to yell out anything. That kind of feel. And then she's actually going over to a part in the water where it seems like this sort of shirtless, horned man is pulling himself out of the water, and she kind of, whilst trying to hold the jacket closed around her, is kind of trying to help him out of the water at the same time.
So he's out of the cage now.
Mm-hmm. Charm looks at the two of them, looks at you, gives herself a bit of a shrug, and kind of leads you to the bottom back where the water is. And she steps out over the water and starts walking over to the shoreline over in the northeast.
I follow, and as I follow, I'll just say, "Hey, Charm, do you mind if I speak directly into your mind, just because we're now not in that private area?"
You say as you step out onto the water, and do you have any kind of water walking?
Do I have any ice magic? Besides ice knife? No. Yeah, I wade through the water. Like, I step down into the water and wade through.
Oh yeah, it's deep. Like, you have to kind of swim.
All right, well, I'm swimming across.
All right. Let me figure out where everyone is. Yeah, okay. Where have we got Sorn? Charm. Floppington. And the Satyr guy who didn't ask his name. And Yama, have you come down through there as well? Like, you're well behind them at this point, so you don't really see Sorn and Charm, but
yeah,
you come down there too. Okay. And Pauly's still in the house for now. We'll get back to you.
I lost Lot too.
Oh yeah, Lot.
I think she was still upstairs.
Cool. Let me know when that's loaded.
I am here.
All I can see is Lot.
Can you not see yourself? You're standing next to Lot.
No, it's black and all I can see is Lot.
Interesting.
You might not have selected your token.
I just clicked and dragged and I still can't see anything.
Oh. Can you unselect your token?
Oh, look, there you are. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So
all right.
I was off on the left side of the screen in the blackness.
That's all right. Charm walks away, sort of leading you at a sedately pace, Sorn, as you swim, head poking out of the swamp. She kind of walks slowly to give you time to kind of swim after her. And she passes by the sort of a big building here on the shoreline. Where are we? A mangrove tree stands in the middle of a patch of heavily churned mud, and you see a number of buildings kind of striking out from here, and these large kind of frog creatures sort of standing around, eyeing you warily, though they make no move towards you.
Just reiterate. Do you mind if I speak into your mind? It's easier.
She sort of says back, in your head, sure, that's fine. as you travel, you see a number of bullywugs and sort of these frog people on the bank of the river here. Oh, sorry, of the swamp here. I haven't got them all on the map, so just you'll have to use it in your mind's eye. They've got a lot of them are all decked out in sort of noble kind of attire. And they're all kind of standing around on the banks of the swamp. They're kind of waving at each other, and like two of them are walking down together. And they've all got, some of them have got like the neck ruff kind of thing going on. And they kind of look like this.
Oh. Very regal.
Yeah, so like you see one with like a little monocle and a walking stick, and they're flapping like as they walk around, taking in the beautiful foggy stench air of the swamp.
Give them a very formal bow.
One of them with a monocle kind of looks at you, his throat goes, and then like he gives you a bow as well. One of the frogs has like a little fan that she seems to be fanning herself with.
Interesting. And I say to Charm, interesting bunch around these parts.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they play their political games, and they're all very caught up in the succession at the moment. The king or the emperor, King Gullop, is long may he reign, of course, is holding court at the moment. So of course they've all come out to show their best.
Yes, I get it. Fair enough. We don't have that in where I'm from.
Oh no? As you guys are talking, as you're kind of walking along.
No, where I'm from, say probably a good 50% of people that live there are enslaved. We're ruled over by a very what's the word I'll use? Evil wench. She's also a part of the pantheon of Faerun.
Oh,
quite interesting. Yes.
Right. So you interact with the god of your realm as well.
I put it this way: she interacts with everyone else whenever she wants by murdering, enslaving, mutating. She does a lot of that. It's an interesting place. I got out of there, kind of got over that, and also sharing blood of a different god that she doesn't really like. Didn't really sit well.
That all sounds very familiar. The sisters are truly, and this is just in your mind. So the sisters are truly hideous. They also turn people into other things, mutate them, polymorph them, to abominations, beasts.
Curse them.
Yeah. So and they're as akin to gods here. So it sounds like we have, maybe a similar home life.
Yeah. Well, I did come across one of her cursed creations.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Unknowingly came across one. And then talked them into signing a blood pact with me to give me, as you know, deals and all that. Give me all of their knowledge of this realm.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's that working out?
Worked out pretty well. We got here. That being like, Sorn is gathering from this that Charm doesn't really like the sisters all that much.
Yeah, you're certainly getting that vibe. Like she's, and you've probably seen these types, right? Like she was all nice, but she doesn't she doesn't fawn over them or say, "Oh, they're so amazing." Like this is clearly like a
political thing.
And Charm seems to have some form of independence.
Yeah. Well, came across him. Undid that little curse because he actually turned out to be a really, really nice person, and I did kind of offer to help them for all of their knowledge. As you do. Yeah, hopefully they have a better life now that they can take on with it. Funny story. She was asking to be reunited with her horse, her long lost horse, and Lorny up there just turned her into a centaur. Kind of funny, but also kind of a little bit messed up.
Charm laughs, and it's like, oh, what an idiot. Yeah. No, that is funny.
Yeah. But now I think I'd give her a second chance at life. Let her maybe she can settle down somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. I got what I needed. She got what she needed. It's all good now. That pact is fulfilled.
As you're walking through the sort of throngs of Bullywug nobility, one of them seemingly steps out of place and kind of bumps into you. Before like saying, "Oh, apologies, my lord, apologies," and kind of goes away. He very unsubtly, like you definitely feel it. You don't even need to make a check. Slipped like something into your pocket, and you can just feel in there. You feel it's like a piece of paper.
Okay. I'll. Oh, do I out the bullywog? I'm just gonna grab the piece of paper out of my pocket.
Yep. Yeah. He's kind of walking away now. Like just sort of still like waving and kind of nodding to other bullywogs as he goes past.
Gonna mentally clock him.
Mm-hmm.
Just like he's going that way. That's what he looks like. I'm gonna open this piece of paper, like not even hide it, just open it and.
Yeah. It's got words on it. They appear to be Sylvan, but you can read all languages. Yeah. Yes. So the message reads, "Find Illig, the Baron of Muckstump at once. The revolution lives."
Okay. I'll chuckle a little bit and put it back in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like these guys, jokers. No idea what that was about.
Yeah, I'll chuck it in the in the Pirates Discord. Cool. All right. She leads you to past what looked like holding cells, past a big area with a mangrove tree standing in the middle of a patch of heavily churned mud. It looks like sort of almost like a small fighting arena. With sort of chains, lengths of chain kind of anchored on opposite sides of the tree trunk, with sort of iron shackles. But she leads you past all that to the big black balloon that's floating over the lake, tugging at its moorings. Beneath it hangs a basket made of black wicker and wood, which seems to serve as a merchant's stall. A large pane of grey glass is drawn closed across an opening above the counter. A sign mounted above the window reads, "Wondrous wares and fair fares." The balloon is not made of fabric, but appears to be a roiling dark rain cloud that has been contained somehow with lines and netting. You see two similar figures to Charm, though a little bit smaller and slighter, standing around the merchant stall, which appears open for business.
I'm just gonna ask Charm straight away. Do you understand how this works? Like this is fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, like it gets us from A to B and B to C and then C to A, and we have control of it. I don't know how it was made though.
Yeah, because I can control the storm, at least to some extent, and Sorn will just put his hands together, like in a ball, and like use my shocking grasp, but like create a little static storm cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but I can't use it to travel.
Yeah, well, it is certainly powered by lightning. We do have to top it up every now and then. Or if there's a storm in the air, we can kind of ride it up there, and the storm around it will usually, if we catch a good couple of lightning bolts, we'll charge it up that way.
Huh. I feel like if I were to give you just a drop of my blood, you could potentially supercharge it. My blood does have lightning in it.
Interesting.
But I would offer that to you. But first, I would like to have a look at your wares.
Oh, of course. And she, the two other creatures kind of jump down and start pulling out things. The first one kind of holds it up and he says, "Very good thimble, fingertip not included." And then jumps back. The other one jumps forward and, mug of bumble beer, has a nice sting to it. And then the other one, they're kind of alternating. Holds up a plate and says, "Dusk mallow pie with decorative bite marks. Bundle of dry wood, great for starting fires." And the other one pulls up sort of a canvas and ink and says, "I could do you an ink portrait. If we have to look at you, so should you."
Well,
and then the other one says, "Moonlight monocle, no more fumbling in the dark."
Now look back at charm. These are all quite interesting wares that you have. I'm more looking for, I don't know, armaments?
Ooh,
Maybe
you want
some
something
fine clothes?
sharp?
Maybe some, fine garments of some sort? Or maybe a way to walk across the bog, because that swim. And Sorn's shaking his boot out.
Yeah. She says, "Well, I mean, yeah, you can walk across the bog, but then you're still in a bog." Oh, yeah. That sucks.
That's true.
If you want something, I have something that's very hard to come by. One of these recently found its way into my possession, and she says, "Trinket." And one of the darklings runs inside the stall and comes out with sort of a box. And he opens it up to face you. And inside, resting in velvet lining, is a white horn. And Charm says, "Unicorn horn. They can come in very handy."
I would think almost as handy as a drop, or even a vial of my blood. Maybe not a drop. That's why I'm offering a vial.
I just don't know what I would do with... I'm not really a hematurgist. I don't know many.
Just throw it into the cloud.
Well, why don't you throw a drop of blood into the cloud, see what it does? If it does what you say, then perhaps we can make a deal here.
Well, all's fair, I guess. That's fair. And I pull out a dagger, a dagger pops up, and I just prick my finger and just flick it.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have a lightning spell? Can you?
I was shocking grasp as I flick it to charge.
Yeah. Cool. Can you roll the attack and the damage for me, please?
Yeah. That's a 21 and an 8.
8. So you definitely, sort of imbue, or I mean, your blood is semi-imbued with lightning anyway. But you're able to kind of flick this up, and it sparkles as it gets up there. And she says, Oh, and it sort of crackles through the balloon itself, and she goes, "Oh wow, yeah, you certainly weren't lying." And she says, "Bauble," and he goes over and seems to be reading some kind of instrument in the basket of the storm balloon, and he says, "Yeah, 8 thalms, mistress." She goes, 8 thalms, okay. Yes, I think we'd have to go for a whole vial. Your blood does have a power to it, but I would need a decent amount. It is a unicorn horn. If that's what you're after.
A vial would be maybe 15 to 20 drops of my blood.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got what? What was that? What was that reading? 8 thalm?
That's right.
So a vial would be 10, if not 15, 20 times that.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. Quite a bit of energy, I would believe.
Assuming that we can recreate what you've done, which of course I'm sure we can, but a vial of your blood, this is a unicorn horn, puts a bit of a life in you, if you know what I mean. Very rare. You don't often get... unicorns are quite attached to them.
This is true. I am quite attached to my blood, as I'm sure you might understand.
Of course.
I need it. So to give it up, I've been low on it before, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't pretty for me.
Oh,
It was not good.
bless.
The blood is pesky, but to give up a vial, it's not a small thing, especially of godling blood.
Ah, but a unicorn horn is a shard of divine magic, wrought in spiraling
I have a bit of that
ivory.
as well.
If you could find someone to make a wand out of this, whew. Or perhaps you could powder it up, make a potent potion, scroll ink, or even consume it yourself, put a bit of lead in your pencil.
Mm-hmm. And Sorn is 100% taking lead in your pencil in the worst possible way.
Yep. Or the best possible way.
Exactly. Well, what are we thinking here then, Charm? What are we thinking? What?
I mean, you said it, a vial of your divine blood in exchange for this unicorn horn, I think would be a great deal.
Well, I do believe you've got yourself a deal. After, might I see this unicorn horn? I just want to see the quality of it. Not that I don't trust you.
Of course.
A purveyor of fine artifacts must overlook the wares that he is trading for.
Absolutely.
To inspect.
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana, and I just want to double check something real quick. Okay, cool. Just in case I can. Where's it gone? Yeah. All right. Arcana. That didn't roll. Good again. I am going to. What do you call it? Where'd it go? Magically guidance that one and re-roll it with a guidance.
Mm-hmm. Your eyes go white and crackle with lightning as you stare at this sort of twisted ivory horn.
That is a 16.
16. Yeah, so you take a close look at this thing. You can see, or I guess feel, that it is definitely pulsing with divine energy. It is definitely a powerful magic. And as Charm said, if you could find someone to make it into something, depending on what you made it into, it could certainly have sort of divine effects to it. But even a horn on its own still has sort of magical, or can have magical properties to someone attempting to use it. Unicorns, though you've probably never seen one in the Underdark, but perhaps read about them. They're often sort of protectors, and typically gods will punish people harshly if they have hurt a unicorn. But you're not hurting the unicorn, you're just buying the ivory. Totally different.
Not as bad. Anyway, well, I will say, well, it all checks out to me. And I get my dagger again.
Yep.
Cut along my finger and I drip it into a vial.
Mm-hmm.
Tap off the vial and then put my hand over my hand, and there's like a little static electricity crackle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cast a cure wounds on myself, just like for not actually cast cure wounds, but like use it in a way that it like just gets rid of the cut.
Yeah, just like this small cut,
like it just disappears, like static itself back together, stitches itself back together with electricity, and then the vial also gets a bit of that electricity pumped into it.
Yeah. And she says, great, and then she daintily kind of spits like just a tiny amount into her palm and holds it out to you to shake.
Got yourself a deal.
Cool. And she shakes your hand. Bauble hands you the box with the unicorn horn in it, and Charm hands off your blood to Trinket.
Alrighty. Well, I will just gonna open the box, get the unicorn horn out, and I want to take the felt lining out of the box.
Yep.
Wrap up the horn and then just tuck it up into my sleeve.
Cool. Perfect. It slides all up in there.
Just say, well, if you would like this box, you can keep the box.
She said, no, that's fine. It's all part of it. It's yours now.
Okay. Well, anyone want a box?
It's,
at that, I think we cut back.
Probably with him the whole time.
Yeah. Let's cut back. Pauly, what are you doing inside the house still? Let's go back to you.
He's cackling. As he walks into that dining room, you said the chandelier had candles on it, didn't you? Well, we better give it one last little swing before anything happens. So Pauly does. He jumps up and does a flip onto the chandelier. Swings from it once. Grabs one of the candles. Throws the candle as he's opened this door up, by the way, just here. Throws one of the candles up in the air, so it's like slowly falls down as he flies out the fucking window.
Okay, yeah. So the candle falls to the floor into the puddle of hooch.
Yes.
Yeah, and just. Woof.
Yeah.
Pauly, give me a dexterity saving throw, just to see if you get clear of the window as just the flames.
17.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You hear the whoomph of fire, and then a loud explosion of the still itself, blowing out all the glass in this cottage, and you can see sort of fire raging on that second story floor. As you,
I hope no one was up the top floor, because we never went there.
Yeah.
So Yama, you and your companions, or your other companions, are getting on, perhaps getting on the raft.
Yeah, I'm hurrying them. I saw the glint in our captain's eye.
Yeah. And which way were you heading?
I guess back the way we came, which I believe was back towards some docks
Yep.
when we first arrived.
Yeah, so you kind of made it out to the docks. Probably by the time you see you see through the fog a whoomph of fire, and a lot of the fog is kind of dispersed somewhere. You can see light behind the fog, and steam seems to be rising, smoke seems to be rising out from the cottage itself.
Can I roll a perception check and see if there's anyone's escaped? Like I'm looking for my captain, but also maybe looking for a.
Can we say this is easy because Pauly is also going to be cackling maniacally, like top of his fucking like.
Well, all right. Maybe my passive perception can see our mighty captain, but
Yep.
the grey-skinned hag. Maybe see if she escaped.
You don't see her currently. I mean, it's also through the fog. You don't see any other figures following Pauly.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we'll just probably continue on, and captain's fine.
Pauly just lands in the boat and acts like he I'm hoping the boat hasn't landed by then, right? You know what I mean?
It's just pulling up to the dock.
That's it.
Pirates of the Caribbean style, so you
Yep.
can land on the boat just so you can step off the boat.
Step off, yes, perfectly, yes, yep, perfect.
Very cool. Everyone kind of looks at you and then looks back at where you came from. There's two lots.
Yeah, it was really messing me up because every time I moved lot, I went to the other lot.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, they're kind of like, okay, should we run?
Yeah, I mean maybe.
And the satyr guy is sort of chatting with or trying to chat to Diana, and she's kind of looking him up and down, and she's like, "Oh, are you, were you cursed as well?" And he's like, "Oh no, my name's Vansel. No, I was just encaged, not encursed. I did lose all my clothes though. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about my appearance. It's and he gets onto the shore. And he says, and you land, Paul, and he's like, "Oh, thank you very much. I didn't get your name. I'm so sorry."
Ah, Pauly, g'day. What was your name?
Vansel.
Oh, Vansel, pleasure.
He says, "Well,
pleasure.
that was incredible. I did not expect any of that, but that's how life works sometimes. It's pretty cool."
Yeah, as you said, mate, sometimes just things work out the right way.
100%. I'm just gonna what a story to tell. And he starts to he kind of gives you a bit of a wave. He's like, "Well, I'm off. Thank you very much again." And he goes to turn. He's like, "Oh, wait, sorry, reciprocity." And he reaches down, picks a stick off the ground on the bank, whispers to it, and then hands it to you, Pauly. It's just a stick.
I hold it with such reverence.
As you take hold of it, a tiny flower blooms on one end of the stick.
Stick with flower.
For the next 24 hours, you have +1 bonus to all ability checks and saving throws.
Dope. Seeing as we might have to fight a hag, it's a great thing to have.
You just set a house
So
on fire.
What was it again?
Ooh,
So
I
24
have
hours?
24 hours, you have +1 to all ability checks. So, any ability checks and saving throws. So if you have to make a strength check, strength saving throw or a strength check. I don't think that extends to skills, but just, ability checks and saving throws. Like if you had to make a dexterity contest, for example. Stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. Oh, thanks, mate. Where are you going now?
I was just gonna probably head home, find some clothes, maybe head to the inn at the end of the beyond the Black Stump, and probably get a cold drink. And he kind of pats his naked hips, and he's like, "I'll figure it out." And
I'll throw him a gold coin.
Oh, thank you. And he says, I've kind of given you the one cool thing I can do. So, how's this? He says, what do you call a magician who's incredibly good with cooking?
I don't know, what?
A sorcerer. That's for you. And then he just kind of waves.
Writes it down. Writes it down. Good.
As he starts walking away.
Good. Alright, well, Vansel, pleasure to see you. We might see you at that pub. I get pretty thirsty as well.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Yeah, usually a grand arson makes me pretty thirsty. And horny. Very horny.
Diana pulls Sorn's coat a little bit more closed.
Oh, you're not my type, don't worry.
So many naked people today.
Yeah. All the bullywogs are kind of hanging out on the shore here, watching inside the cottage, or watching, towards the center, where there's this sort of. It's not become a candle of flame, but there's certainly sort of one half of the building is certainly like spewing fire out and burning away some of the fog.
Well, Captain, I have a bullywog to find.
All right, let's go do that. Yep, sounds great to me.
Cool. I have no idea where to start, but
I've also got to go to bed.
Okay, yeah. that's probably a good place to stop. I will ask, what is Sorn's reaction to a massive explosion from the building he just left?
Well, in Sorn's mind, he's got his back to the building.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to Charm, and then he feels like the air pressure just fly past him, and he's like, "Well, did something happen behind me? I don't want to turn around and have a look."
Yeah, she kind of looks past you and is like, "Yeah, something happened." And then, yeah, maybe that's where we'll leave it.
Love it.
For once, Sorn has been really nice, just having a chat, hasn't tried to kill anyone. And Pauly blew up the house of someone who could probably just click us into death.
Yeah, I think, Charm, after saying that, something happened, and seeing the stony expression on your face as you realize it was probably Captain Pauly, she goes, "Trinket, Bauble, we should probably get going."
And Sorn will be like, "I'll catch you at the other places."
Yama has a list of 3 chores he had to do, and he just draws a line through one of them.
I fixed.
Very good. Cool. We'll end it there for this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week with some, if not all of our party, possibly even Karu returning if we are missing someone else. But we'll call it there on that bit of a cliffhanger. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.